Hello, and welcome back to Credible Perspectives. This is season 2, where we will be discussing all things to do with taxation in the lead up to the East Africa Tax Summit that will happen in September 26th, 27th, and 28th in Nairobi County. Details of this shall be found below. In this first episode, we are joined by our powerhouse team from Atlas Fiscal Solutions, who will be discussing the tax environment in the past few years. We first have Mr. George Muya, who is the team lead and a distinguished custom and tax expert with over 35 years of experience, having served at senior roles at the Kenya Revenue Authority across customs, domestic taxes, and investigations and enforcement. We also have Ms. Gemma Gashai, a seasoned tax professional with more than 34 years experience at the KRA. She was instrumental in establishing the Alternative Dispute Resolution Division, which has resolved long-standing tax disputes and improved collaboration between taxpayers and authority. And finally, we have Mr. Peter Ngugu, who also has over 30 years experience in tax administration, where he has transitioned from sales tax, worked as an auditor and a compliance manager in the large taxpayers department, and has managed accounts for multi-billion shilling corporations, government bodies, and county governments. We welcome them and are grateful for their and we are grateful that they honored our invite today. Thank you. Thank you so much for honoring our invite once again. We'll go quickly into the questions. We've seen that Atlas Fiscal Solutions has been at play for a few years now. We would like to know what the origin of the story is. Where did you begin? What gaps had you seen for you to leave KRA and go straight into creating an institution that helps with tax solutions?
Okay, thank you very much, Mukami. Yes, we are Atlas Fiscal Solutions. We are 4 partners. One of them is not around. So we are 3 partners. Mm-hmm. Yes, we started about 3 years ago in 2023, after all of us working in KRA for many years. I'm sure you've seen our profile. We say we have over 120 years experience. So we all left in good standing. And having worked there, obviously we had seen the gaps that exist in the people we were dealing with. And definitely, before we left, I'm sure each one of us had their own plans as to what they will do after retirement. And in my thinking, and obviously the other partners, when I spoke to them, we realized that it's only wise to do what you've done for many years, because I did 35, she did, I think, also about 35, and Mr. Peter the same. And we thought this is what we've done all our working lives, and therefore we thought possibly this is one of the best things we do with ourselves, because, you know, when you retire, the most difficult thing is how you spend your time. And you obviously want to spend your time doing what you know you do best. And therefore, I decided to, call my colleagues who I knew we had worked very well. I had worked in customs for the better part of my working life in KRA, and also worked in the other departments, mainly investigation and domestic taxes as well. So in my working there, I had met Gemma and Peter, and I thought, because we all had different skill sets, if you like, I thought possibly we will, if we team together, we can have a good team. My background was mainly customs, as I said. She set up the dispute resolution department, and Peter has worked from the domestic taxes, both in the large taxpayers and in the small taxes departments. So I thought it would be a good blend to deal with the challenges that most of the taxpayers do come across. Our focus is mainly in the small and medium taxpayers, because we think that is where the bulk of the taxpayers are. And we know for a fact that is where the biggest challenges are. And you'll appreciate that the issue of tax compliance is not for everybody. The tax laws are very complex, and we therefore thought, having practiced this business for a long time, will also give something back to society. So we set up this institution so that we can focus in that sector and also contribute something to society, because we believe that there exists a gap that we can address and also make the tax-paying culture simple and, if you like, pleasurable. Because the more we engage with people, because we've had a number of workshops, we realize that a lot of people may not understand the whole tax system. So with our background, we thought, yeah, this is something we can do. We've done it for 3 years, and we can say that so far we have had a number of successes, and we know out there is a big population that needs to get support, because when KRA does their assessments, they don't care who you are. So by the time you're getting there, obviously a lot of people may not have the comfort. So as you may know, be aware, Atlas is in Greek mythology, it's somebody who eases the burden of, somebody who's got a heavy burden. So that's how we came together. And so far, we can say it's been a pleasurable process. We've made a lot of contacts. Okay, let me not say a lot, but reasonable number of clients have come to our place. We are based at the greenhouse, and yes, we can say we're enjoying what we do, because at least we have something to do from 5 to 5. Right. So I think that's how we set up Atlas.
Okay. Yeah. In the 3 years that you've been working in Atlas, is there one quote unquote big case that has shown you, or one very significant case that has shown that you're on the right track with what you're doing?
I'm sure what you're asking is our success rate. I don't know whether to call it big or small, but we obviously have had interesting cases. One which maybe Peter will be talking about is a case in the digital space. But one I can remember that we pushed successfully was a matter before the tribunal in a matter of excise. And we were successful. Obviously, we may not be shouting about, the successful cases, because as you are aware, the issues of tax are confidential. And therefore, we may not say case X of this taxpayer. But yes, we've had a number of good cases. And
all right. I think I'll go to Peter. He's mentioned a digital case. Before we leave there, you can tell us a bit about that. Of course, taking care of issues to do with privacy and data protection.
Thank you. Let me first add on first what you said about why we formed the Atlas. Having both the three of us plus our partner who is not here, we are in KRA, we are in operations. Operations is where you deal with the people who are paying taxes. And our experience had shown us that there is something which these taxpayers are not understanding. Because somebody will come there with a small thing, and you find if this person was directed or given the right coaching there before, he would not make this mistake. So that is one of the reasons we knew we want to fill that gap where, I'm sorry, I don't want to say that, but most of the people who are there were giving the, let's say, the accounting part of it, but the tax part of it was at some gap. Very obvious things, but you see these people. That's one of the reasons why we say If I will be on the other side now, I move this side of KRA, I go to the other side, I can coach these people and we can improve compliance. Now there is this digital taxation which has come. We had a very interesting case where somebody, KRA had written to somebody who is dealing with Apple. This Apple is posting things there and they are being bought all over the world. So this guy had a case from KRA, he came to us. And we pushed the case until we reached a stage where now KRA had to give a ruling whether this person is taxable. This person who doesn't know whether what he is doing is attracting or what type of tax is attracting. But KRA is telling them you are not paying this tax like VAT. We pushed that one even to the policy level of KRA until we get a ruling which was favorable to our taxpayer, and he was happy, and also we were happy. And those are the kind of things we are talking about, which we were seeing were lacking, and we wanted to come and fill that space.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Well, still on the conversation about digital and all that, we are seeing a lot of upcoming technology. There's artificial intelligence that's coming up. Can you see how AI and digitization and automation is going to change the tax environment in Kenya? I open it up to any of you.
Yeah, I know KRA has been big in automation, and I'm sure, well, I may not be the person to honestly say what they are doing, but I think it's a space which all of us cannot run away from. You've recently seen that they're able to track a taxpayer's filing on the month. Many years back, they were not able to, do it, immediately. But now, using their systems, they can flash out who has not paid. So they're able to run through the 4 million taxpayers that they have to see who did not pay last month. For example, when it's 20th, is it today?
Yes.
So by tomorrow, if you're expected to pay, they'll be able to flash you and tell you using the system that you did not pay. Can you come and pay? So I don't know what else they could be doing, but I think it's not anything they can run away from, because that's the only way they'll be able to reach out to the entire population. I know you're aware of the e-teams which they're implementing, and I know at the time they're implementing it, they wanted all the transactions. When you go to a supermarket, when you buy something, it's posted somewhere in KRA. But I think I don't know to what extent that has been implemented, but yes, it's not anything anyone will run away from, because without automation and without investing in systems and being ahead of everyone, they cannot afford to be left behind. But as he says, this is an area which everybody is interested in, and from a tax point of view, you cannot run away from it.
All right.
Let me just put a voice to that. With increasing growth in technology, it's a twofold thing. We have people in business who are also being affected, because as technology improves, then it means you have to change your systems, you have to change the way you do things, you have to change your accounting policies to be in line with what now, in tandem with the aspect of paying taxes.
Yeah.
KRA on one side is growing and trying to improve the systems to be in line with the growing technology. We have business also who have to also grow in that perspective, so that you improve, you invest more in your systems as a business. SEMA is here, they are doing whatever they are doing. But if KRA introduces new ways of filing taxes and doing filing your returns, then it means also SEMA has to do something on its part to be in line with what they are expected to do. So it affects both the authority and business as well.
Business,
The
yeah.
growing the growing aspect of technology. Yeah.
Okay. I want us to go, since now you have the mic, to tax disputes. A lot of people, just like Mr. Ngugu mentioned, are afraid of, and that's the gap that you had seen of exposing what their tax liabilities look like because of disputes. We've seen recently in the country where people are really trying to run away from anything to do with tax discussions. So in the course of your journey, how do you manage disputes when it comes to taxation between your clients and, say, the Revenue Authority?
I think the most important thing one would then ask is, how do disputes arise between a client or a business person and KRA? And they arise out of many things. The most fundamental thing of how they arise could be as simple as you've declared taxes, you've made a self-assessment, and you've not paid. Then KRA writes back to you, and then there's a back and forth. You haven't paid, or you declared the wrong figures. So you're coming back and doing a reflection and saying, this is not what I earned, or this is not what I was supposed to pay. I should have paid less. Then the aspect of where you're in business and you're not filing taxes, KRA will come back and will issue you with an assessment. So when they issue you that assessment, KRA is using the information they have to estimate the taxes. Then on your end, you're saying, this is not the level of business I did, I should pay less taxes. Then there's an aspect of, they will ask you for your records. They'll look at them and say, you did not declare these taxes correctly. You should have applied this particular rate of tax, or you should not have claimed these expenses. So there are many dynamics of how disputes arise. Then you go back to the person who should have paid taxes. Now, let's say the person in business. So when you are aggrieved by the demands from KRA, then the law provides you with options of how you can handle that dispute. And the first thing is, when you get an assessment from KRA, is you need to object to that assessment. So from business, what we have found, and we go back to what Peter was saying, the gap that is there with people in business, they may be issued with an assessment and they don't know how to react to that. They don't know that they need to object. So we've had clients coming to us, they were issued with assessments like a year ago. They don't know they have an option of objecting late. They don't know that there's an avenue for them to address that issue. But bottom line is, once you get an assessment from KRA, you have an avenue of disputing. And then once you dispute, you are now presented with a second level of where you go back and present your facts. KRA then should be able to make a decision arising from that, and they give you an objection. It's called an objection decision, where they are saying, we've reviewed their records, your additional information, and we are happy, and we are amending our earlier demand, we are bringing it down. Sometimes they can even amend it in its entirety. Now, in the event that they don't amend, then what avenues do we have as business? Then still the law has provided an avenue that you can go to the Tax Appeals Tribunal. So again, you make a formal request to the Tax Appeals Tribunal to be heard again. So when you go to the Tax Appeals Tribunal, then KRA has brought in another level. It's called the alternative dispute resolution. So you are at the Tax Appeals Tribunal, you make a prayer that I want my matter to be handled through the ADR process. So when you go to ADR process, then that's a level again. Now it's an environment where now you are having a conversation with KRA. A cordial information environment. The conversation is had in a cordial environment where KRA will give you a second chance to present your facts. And the good thing about ADR, they are not very rigid. They don't follow the law to the letter. They give you an option, like if you didn't provide all the documents, or you don't have all the documents that KRA would have wanted, they'll look at whatever they have and make a decision based on that. So again, now what would happen is through the alternative dispute resolution, if you agree with the commissioner, and ideally the environment is to make you shake hands and agree, you go back to the tax appeals tribunal and tell them we've already agreed with the commissioner, and the matter then gets sorted. In the event that the matter is not resolved at tax appeals tribunal, then the next level is to go to the appeal at High Court. Yes, so the entire process of dispute resolution is well documented, but unfortunately, most of the people in business or people who are doing business, they are not alive to the facts that they have the first and the second chances in that process. Yes.
All right. On average, how long does a dispute take to be resolved, whether you go in the tribunal route, ADR route?
Okay, what happens is there's different timelines. The first level is when the commissioner issues you with an assessment. When you object, you have 60 days to have it resolved. So within the 60th day, the commissioner has to make a decision. And I wish to point out that one of the things that happens is people not adhering to the timelines. If the commissioner doesn't give an objection decision within 60 days, then you'll assume that he has agreed with you. Yes. Then between when you get an objection decision and you appeal to the TAT, then you have 90 days to handle the appeal at the tax appeals tribunal.
Okay.
But now that process, when you move out of the tax appeal process and your request for ADR, then you have 120 days to handle that process.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, but the High Court now, the timelines are different. You have to appeal within 30 days and then you go by the court timelines.
You'd mentioned that sometimes the disputed amount can be amended down. Have you seen any case where it's been amended up?
It could, depending, especially during the objection decision. But if you gave documents and maybe the commissioner didn't take into consideration certain things, they can amend it upwards.
Okay.
But ideally, the idea is to bring it down because you're presenting your facts, or maybe maintain the status quo if you're not able to defend your numbers.
All right.
Yeah.
Are all disputes the same, or are there some that are more common than others?
Yes, the most common ones, I would say, is where you fail to produce the documents that the commissioner required. So if you don't avail the documents, then of course now the commissioner makes a decision based on what information they have. But currently in the recent times, because of automation and the commission, like George was saying, the commissioner being able to review the way you're doing business, they're able to know that you've done this much sales in a month. And then you go back and under declare, then the commissioner definitely will issue you with an assessment. So again, now it goes to dispute because you have to go back and try to say, why was my VAT under declared? Why? Yes.
All right. I want us to go back to Mr. Muya. One of the functions for Atlas is tailoring pre-investment advisories to support investors who are trying to come into the country or trying to start up a business. How do you help them manage the entry, balance the legal elements to it, and also what are common mistakes that such people make when they come into this regime?
Yeah, thank you. Our focus in that area was to be able to assist first-timers who want to invest in Kenya to just understand the tax landscape from customs to domestic taxes, and for them to appreciate or understand the schemes that are available to investors who want to set shop in Kenya. We thought that people coming to Kenya will want to appreciate how possibly Kenya is a good destination to to set up so that they can reach out to the region. Unfortunately, we haven't had any significant traction in that area, but we are still open because there exists a number of investment schemes and opportunities that are available. And our intention was to just be available to the Kenyans in the diaspora, possibly who want to invest, or maybe who have issues. In fact, we have one case of a diasporanian, which we are dealing with. And that was the thinking. We haven't had any specific cases. But obviously, for people who wish to set shop for the first time, we are ready to hold their hands from beginning to the end, including helping them to get regulatory approvals where necessary, because sometimes when people come in here, they don't know what exists. For example, if you want to invest possibly in the money market, obviously, you'll need to be licensed by capital markets and those kind of institutions. You'll need certain other approvals from any other regulatory government agency. But as I said, we haven't had any specific cases in that area.
That could be because of an information gap, and is the reason why you came together to start Atlas Fiscal.
Yes.
I want to go to Mr. Ngugu and just build up on the gap, the information gap that we've just discussed. What are the biggest tax gaps? What are the biggest gaps in tax knowledge that you see within the SME sector in Kenya?
Okay, thank you. Let me say this. I want to start with that pre-investment. We had a case of somebody, Isangana, who was teaming with another person, and they have their office in Dubai. They wanted to start selling and distributing drones in Kenya. And that is a specific, very good example of how they invest. We and hold people who are coming to invest in Kenya, because he came to us inquiring what type of taxes he's supposed to pay, both domestic, because drones, is a new thing in Kenya. So he wanted to know, he's a foreigner, what he's supposed to do, whether he needs a Kenyan partner, whether he needs a Kenyan office because he is based in Dubai. So although we did not manage to close the deal, but we took him through and even showed him the cheapest way of warehousing, both in the customs, what he's supposed to do, and domestic taxes. Those are the kind of things which we are saying we want to, because there is the EPZ, there is
SEZ.
Yes. So we tell them you can go there. That is the kind of thing we are talking about. Honestly, the gap which is there mostly is not technical. And I would not say that people lack the technical knowledge, but the gap is on the managing your tax affairs. One thing people don't understand, like when you come to something like VAT is not a business tax, it's tax for the final consumer. That's what those are kind of small things people don't understand. That you have this business of yours. I come here as a client, you charge me VAT. VAT is not your part of your tax. That is, you are just a government agent who is collecting on behalf of the government to pass it there. Therefore, people they don't understand this tax is not my money. You have employees. Pay as you want. You deduct my money, which you could have paid my whole salary. Why do you want to keep it? It's not your money. So these are the gaps, people not understanding what is tax. Just small things. We have e-teams. People don't know when you raise an invoice through e-teams, you have nowhere to hide because KRA is seeing it. So it's as the day you raised it from your system, they saw it. So you find that is the kind of people don't know they need to file returns in time. 20th December, but people ignore. Those small things are the ones which brings this gap. It's not the technical part of it. Although in technical, we can say some things like you pay as you want, people will want to know what benefits are chargeable. People should be, there's that gap. You find somebody has given a director a car, he might not be knowing that car, if it's being maintained and managed by the company, is a benefit to the director, and it's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of gaps which are there, and those are the kind of things which we are seeing people should be educated on. Not the deep technical part of it, but the small things. Like you have to file a return on time. This return is due on 9th, this one is due on 20th. If you are having this type of building, you need to pay MRI. If you have this type of building, you have to pay VAT on a commercial. These are the kind of things which people, and the gaps which are there, people lack. Not the big technical which is written in the book as the act. It is the policies which come on daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones which lack. And they are the ones which, when we go, we say we build capacity. Capacity building is reminding them of those small things and telling them, you are supposed to do this, and you are supposed to do this, you are supposed to do that. And when it's done, you find they are happy. Somebody will tell you, I never knew, because this is my car and the company is mine, I get fuel. He was not, somebody is not aware that fuel the company is paying for you is a benefit and you should. Yeah. There are other things people don't know that they should take advantage of. You have these machines here when you want to file your income tax return. Do you calculate your wear and tear and claim it back? It's the kind of thing. Those are the kind of things which people don't understand, and that's where the gap. And because we were seeing small things coming, and we found it's good, we go build capacity, and once we done that, people are happy.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, and sometimes, just general information. For example, maybe, what's going on now, our athletes who are doing very well in some sports, and, the ongoing football. I'm sure, somebody will look at it as, this is just a gift, as a zawadi. But I'm sure maybe the taxman would come someday, or you got this gift of 1.5 or whatever. And then the taxman will be saying, but you did not even declare it. And it was public, it's public knowledge that you are given this. But, the back and forth will definitely arise. But just this common or basic information, but it may not be common to everybody. Because even you as a lawyer looking at it, you may say, hey, in is awarding, this is a gift, why is it being taxed? But yeah, there is a lot of lack of information, let me say information. And I'm sure the best people to shout more than we are doing is, maybe KRA. But because we are all affected by, taxation, you can't run away from it. And as we say, it's better to be armed with knowledge and information instead of the taxman, especially the domestic taxes who come after to do post-mortem. And they tell you in the year up to 5 years, you got this, and now with all these things, internet, you can't run away. Yeah, so I think maybe that's an area where maybe Peter is saying it's just information.
It's just information.
It's not the technicalities of computation, because sometimes even for the people who are paying rent, if you go to KRA website, you can get a simulator there, work a rent, and it tells you how much you need to pay. And I'm sure so in customs, there is a place you can go and put the value of motor vehicle. It will compute for you all the taxes. Yeah, at least things are made easy. You don't have to work with a calculator. Yeah.
You can hear from the background, people are getting
Knowledge.
But I agree with you. I think we need to get the government to do more with spreading information. But that's also part of why we are here and why we have the summit coming ahead. I want us to move into policy discussion and laws without going into technicalities, because what you've said is some of us don't know what policies are in place before we even go into the technical computations of it. What policies in all three sectors are you looking forward to seeing or are in the pipeline that excite the three of you?
Okay, what I can say now, many years back, whenever, around June, people will, be waiting with an abated, what's the minister going to say? But these days with the new constitution, you have to tell the people what you're going to do. So the bill has to go through some public participation. I don't know how effective it is, but it's posted out there. So, there are no surprises. Those days where the minister used to say, with effect from midnight tonight, the price of bread and, I don't know, cigarettes and beer. These days, we almost know what to expect. The only thing which I know possibly the policymakers, now we are not, when we are working, maybe we could talk about those things, but now we are, is that, the whole, policy process or tax process has to be, predictable, so that, we are not just waiting every year, every June surprises. It should be in such a way that is good for business people. You should be able to know, for example, in the next 2 years, nothing is going to happen. And I think maybe the biggest lesson learned was last year when you guys went to the streets and the bill was thrown out, isn't it? Did the government stop to exist? And there has been a perception that if this thing is not done, the government will halt. So I think that's a space we are in, and I'm sure there are no surprises. And at least from where I sit, I don't know what is the government is putting in terms of a futuristic policy. I don't know, but we wait to see. But the good thing is that there'll be no surprises. And even for customs, the negotiations have to start early. You go to EAC, you negotiate with the other countries, everything is put on the table. So I think by the time the minister is reading the speech, it's just a feel-good environment. It's really, there are no surprises. Unless you've seen any, you as a lawyer.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Gemma?
The thing is, as George has said, there before, we used to know when the minister reads a budget, we know this one. And even there are some things which are becoming effective midnight. Yeah, we say if VAT rate has changed by midnight tomorrow, we are there because we know that is going to be the law. But nowadays, there's a lot of uncertainty. Like now, there were some things which were moved from zero-rated to exempt, others from zero-rated to general taxation. But as the discussion goes on, and before the act is appended, the act which is the there were so many changes. Some were taken back where they were being moved from, others. So the today's policy, I think, it depends on the mood of the day. I can say that. It depends on the mood of the day. We can have, in fact, there before, in my life working before the last few years, we never used, once we have something by June, we never used to have any changes until another June. But nowadays, anything can happen.
And of course, with the Kenya's, freedom, a lot of things can also be put in abeyance. There was recently a requirement in customs that all goods coming into the country must be supported by a certificate of origin. And just thinking from implementation perspective, for me it was something which could not be implemented. Because, when you talk about certificate of origin, it can only be issued by the country where the goods are manufactured. And I was thinking about things like motor vehicles, which are bought in Dubai. Or you buy stuff from Dubai, they are put in a plane, then Eldoret the following day, they are required to have a certificate of origin of things which are made in Japan. And I know it was put on the side because it was not implementable. Yeah, so sometimes I see a sense of lack of, seeing how the practicality aspect of implementing certain laws, if you like. So, but with Kenya's newfound freedom, I think some people went and discussed. They didn't go to court. I think they had a discussion with the minister, and I think it was put on hold until some other time. So these days, there's, the freedom that there exists when people do not want something, again, like you did last year, it can be put on hold. So really, there should be no surprises.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why I was saying policy depends on this. Yesterday, I was reading something interesting where Treasury has stopped some, is there in the Tax Procedure Act, KRA, which guides on offsetting, where you have this type of tax. But yesterday I was reading that Treasury has stopped some kind of liability being offset against something like withholding taxes. But the law allows that. But Treasury, because they are saying there will be some kind of cheating, this kind of thing, and this will bring the issue of shortage in the finance. But you see, the law allows that, but the Treasury comes in and says, no, we are not going to do this. So that's why I was saying policy nowadays depends on
the mood of the day.
Yes.
And there is also the good side of it, that you also have opportunities of, having a tax system that is flexible and that is dynamic to meet the needs of the day. So I think maybe that's a window, maybe which the minister has to put certain things on hold.
Okay.
Otherwise, then it would mean that, unless maybe you go to court for you to get some way of putting it in abeyance. But, yeah.
Do you have anything to add?
Not really. I don't, unless you have to have a question for me.
No, not specifically, but I want us to start wrapping up. But before we do, I want us to discuss tax health checks. I think, I know why you're laughing.
Tax health check.
Health checks. I think even that name itself,
You found it interesting?
I found it very interesting.
Health check. Health check is like medical health check. You are not sick. You are not feeling bad. But you say, let me pass to a doctor. There is this thing they call women and the men. What you go to
Over 40.
no, it's wellness.
Yes.
Wellness
The
clinic.
wellness packages.
Yes,
Mhm.
you go there because you are not because you are sick,
Yeah.
but you want to know. But when you are there, the doctor can tell you, do you know, my
Iko
friend,
pressure.
your pressure.
Imepanda kidogo.
Now you see, you start rectifying.
Yeah.
That is the essence of the
That's
health check
health
we
check.
do. Somebody we want to encourage people to know their tax positions before KRA comes to them. Because might be you failed. It has two advantages. You might have missed something. You might be having let's say an invoice, like a VAT invoice, which you not claim. And it's not yet 6 months. When you go for health check, I will tell you, you are entitled to claim this invoice. And because 6 months are not yet over, you can do that. That's a saving. That's money you could have lost, but you have it. You can come and tell you, do you know this thing was taxable and you did not pay tax on it? You can rectify that time and pay to avoid a huge tax penalty and the interest, because as the days goes on, the interest increases. But if you discover your mistake early enough, you rectify, and then you will be in a position to. So the health check is not to discover mistakes. That is not our purpose. But to just the same way we are building capacity, to educate. When let me say, the other capacity building, we are doing it through education. But this one is also another capacity building, but practically, we are practically telling you, this is your pay as you earn. You did not include this benefit for this employee. There you find there are some people who say casuals are not, they don't pay as you earn. But if you have a casual who is over 20, earning over 24,000, and constantly is coming for a month, you should. But people don't know that there is no casuals. Don't pay as you earn. So those are the kind of things which we got to do health checks. Even in health checks, we educate people on how to pay SHA, how to pay NSSF. There are other people who don't know something called NITA. Even if I ask you, do you know NITA?
Yes. And there.
Yeah. So we tell them other government statutories which they are supposed to. So the purpose of health check is to prevent KRA.
Surprises.
Yes. In fact, that's the correct word. Surprises by KRA.
Okay.
That's why in fact, it is one of the best ways people can do to make sure that they are on the right track. Because once I come here, I tell you this, you'll be always remembering Mr. Ngungu. Hey, said we do this.
Yeah.
Yes. That is, there was somebody we onboarded him on e-Teams, and we gave him a VAT obligation. But that person did not leave our contacts. She just walked to our office. Akasema, me, I want a VAT obligation to come work here. I want our e-Teams to come here. But when he went in, not file return. Now she was put in something, our company was put in something called special table. No, she calls me. I'm in special table. I ask him, why? You people, you did not follow me to make sure that I filed a return. That is what she told me. I should have followed
Yes.
to make sure that I followed. So those are the kind of advantages you get. Because once even we do a health check for you, we will follow to make sure that you are doing the right thing. I will call you now. Have you filed your return on the 20th? What did you put in output? What did you do? Did you file your return on 9th? Did you include? Did you pay SHA for everybody? Because even if somebody is not paying, pay as you earn. But for these others, somebody should pay. So that following. And when you tell me KRA came and they found nothing, I clap my hands and say, hallelujah.
Good job.
I did a good job. Yeah.
Is it a service people are taking up more increasingly?
It is. In fact, people like the new business people are taking it up because I think people have known, and that is what I tell people, complying is cheap.
Yeah, but a lot of us, we take our cars to the mechanic when they
complying.
They can't move.
Complying is cheap than not complying. Yeah. So many people are discovering that it's better I comply than waiting to be told that I messed by KRA, where I have to pay interest and even penalties. Once you comply.
On a light note, you're taking away work from Gemma.
Yes, but on the other side, even as they want to embrace the tax health checks, we still have people who are very stuck to their issues. They feel that if they come to you to evaluate or to conduct a health check, you're going to expose them. They don't understand the benefits of the health check. So you still find that people who are there, let me wait until the taxman comes. They'll not want to come out in the open. But again, because we conduct tax education seminars, when we conduct them, we tell them, we communicate the same, so that and then of course the communication is by making it giving them the benefits of embracing that, so that you deal with the issue early enough.
Okay.
During last year, there was amnesty, which ended up to 20th December 2023. During that time, there are those who came to us to help us to evaluate their tax position, which we did by way of a tax health check, so that we could tell how much do they owe, that they can take advantage, they can pay and take advantage of the tax amnesty. Yes. Okay. Yeah, we did that as well.
The idea is not that Peter will take anything from her. They just provide a one-stop shop.
Yes.
So that when you come before KRA, you go to Peter. If you come when things are already hot.
And the dispute resolution process is not easy because, again, when you go through that process, you have to provide facts, evidence. So even much as we want to embrace it and take advantage of that process, it's difficult because if you're dealing with an SME who was a one-man show, so you're the owner and the director and all the money you're putting in your accounts, you don't maintain receipts. When you go through the dispute resolution process, KRA will be expecting us to provide documents. We don't have those documents. How do we support you? Yeah. So it becomes a very difficult case.
Okay. In fact, when we are doing health checks and a little of capacity building, we emphasize on the correct records to be kept because there is very necessary when you go to dispute resolution. In fact, there is a fact. And many of them now, as Madam said, they are on poor record keeping. And that is what we encourage people when we are doing these checks, so that you can support this. Because if you cannot support the money you have in the bank for the company from the invoices, then somebody will tell you this is money you are paid off. Yeah.
You banned.
And you banned. Those are the kind of things we indicate them that whatever you have there. We have seen several cases where people anakwambia, this is my money. When I left my employment, I was paid and I put. Yes, it's true. But do you have something to prove that this money you brought in here is from this source? So we encourage them now to have that proof to avoid being taxed unnecessarily. Because there, when it comes to tax, even you can explain the KRA officers pengine aelewe that you, but when you go to dispute resolution from what they call IRO, that is independent review of objections, there is facts. This document supports this. If you don't have, you are done. Yes.
I think just to demonstrate, like let's say Semabox, let's say assuming they are VAT registered and you want to buy a camera, you may feel that it's cheaper to buy from someone who doesn't charge you VAT. So you buy it from there. Now, come at the end of a period, KRA taxes you. I mean, gives you an assessment. Now, you want to defend your purchases, you want to defend your costs. So if you don't have a tax invoice, even if we go to plead with KRA, they will not allow that cost. So what I'm saying is, those are the things we try to educate to business, to tell them, try and be as compliant as possible. You know you can be compliant, but again, we can come in back to you and apply the aspect of tax planning so that then we are helping you to pay the correct taxes, but to take advantage of the benefits that are available to you that will help you reduce the taxes that are payable.
All right. Thank you so much. As we wrap up, any last words? We can start from you so that by the time we get to Mr. Muya, he'll tell us where we can also find you.
My last words is that I would encourage business people, and especially the upcoming SMEs, to work with consultants so that they can hold them on matters of taxes. Taxes can ruin a business. That's one fact. I've seen business close because of taxes. Because you have money in your account, your bank is given an emergency notice, and all the money which you are supposed to pay your suppliers is gone. What happens? So I would encourage business people, and especially the upcoming ones, and the medium, to work with the consultants and learn more about taxes. It's very important. That's what I can advise, and we are there to do that for them. Thank you.
I think just to ride on what Peter has said, it's really demystifying tax. Tax is not complicated. It may seem to be complicated, but you realize that when you sit with somebody who can work with you, you find that it's so easy. And then when you can't do it, there's so much help you can get out there. So don't close yourself. Don't say that I'll not handle it. Look for somebody to work with you, to explain to you. And we always tell people, leave the burden of dealing with iTax, filing returns, those tedious things that even at a personal level, I will still ask somebody in my office, do my return. So leave it to the experts to handle them for you. But tax is really not complicated as it may seem. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mukami, for hosting us. And we are very excited for this engagement. We look forward to having more. And now we've had a number of webinars where we've invited mostly the SMEs. I know this year we haven't been active, but last year we did like 3 or 4. So we are available whenever you need us. At Atlas, we provide 360 degrees support for anyone who wants to either to come and invest, whether it's on import side, whether it's on domestic taxes side. We provide a full range of support functions to just make sure that the entire process is smooth. I think that's what I can say for now. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Right. Thank you so much for honoring our invite once again. And we look forward to seeing you very soon at the East Africa Tax Summit.
Okay.
And that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, we invite you for the East Africa Tax Summit that will be held from 26th September in Nairobi, the details of which will be below and in all our social media. We also encourage you to send any questions that regards taxation matters in Kenya to any of our social media accounts, that is Credible Perspectives, and we shall get back to you with the subsequent guests that we may have. Thank you so much.